Hello everyone, thanks for watching the video. In this video, I am going to show you every step of the process of installing a wood stove in a travel trailer. If you're new to the channel, this is my DIY travel trailer that I affectionately call Eddie. I built it myself from the ground up, and I just recently installed a Cubic Mini Grizzly wood stove that I absolutely love. And as you can tell, I'm wearing a t-shirt in here, and I won't be able to talk too long because the heat is just kicking off here, and it's everything I hoped it would be. I absolutely love it, and I will show you the entire process of installing it. Before I do that, I wanted to just tell you that I am installing it now because, quite frankly, I just couldn't wait to put it in. My trailer is not done, the inside is not completed, so I temporarily installed it on a piece of plywood in the location that it would be in. And I did this for a couple of reasons. I obviously was very excited of having it and heating the trailer with a nice fire. But also I wanted to know the height that would be ideal to have it in the camper. Ideally, with heat, you want it as low to the ground as possible because obviously heat rises and that makes the most sense. But from an aesthetic point of view and a practical point of view, having it up higher has a lot of benefits. First of all, the higher you have it up, the more storage you can have underneath it for most likely wood and other things. Having it up higher also makes it easier to manage the fire. And eventually under the window here, I'm going to have a desk, and I love the idea of just sitting at the desk, looking over the fire, looking out the window, hopefully at a nice vista. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's probably the main reason why it is temporarily installed, just to get a feel for how it heats the trailer and how the floor is. You know, eventually I'll probably get a fan from the top of it to circulate the heat within the trailer. But if you're watching the video and you're wondering you know, why I'm installing it while the interior is not completed, those are the reasons. So without talking anymore, let's get at the installation process of the Cubic Mini Grizzly. So I ordered the Grizzly Cubic Mini wood stove in black. I also ordered the stainless steel wall mount for the Grizzly. The wall mount that I ordered also had the fresh air intake. And I also ordered the metal roof exit kit, as well as a stainless steel cap. Even though the wood stove has feet, it actually is supported by a bracket on the back of the wood stove. I began by taking off the protective wrapping of the stainless steel wall mount and screwed the top and back panel together. The metal bracket attaches to the stainless steel wall mount, which then uses spacers to keep it away from the wall that you'll be attaching it to. Because I was temporarily attaching mine to 3/4 inch plywood, I swapped out the wood screws that come with it for stainless steel screws. And what I did was use fender washers on both sides of the plywood with a nut on the end of it. Now all I had to do was decide the height of the wood stove and then mark the places that I would be drilling holes for the bracket. I then put the spacers between the plywood and the stainless steel wall mount, put the screws through the plywood, and then securely attach them with the locking nuts that I had. Once the bracket and stainless steel wall mount were secured to the plywood, I reinstalled the plywood to the height that I had using wood screws into the 2x4s behind me. This would be a secure way of temporarily having the wood stove attached to the inside of my trailer. The stainless steel wall mount for the 3-inch stovepipe is flexible because it adjusts to the height of your stove. So once I determined the height of the stove, I installed the stainless steel wall mount for the stovepipe. The stove has legs, but the main purpose of the legs is actually to hold the bottom tray in place. The stove is secured to the wall onto the bracket, and then once that is done, the legs are screwed to the bottom plate, and they also are secured to the bottom of the stove. The fresh air intake is actually attached to the bottom of the stainless steel wall mount, and the feet secure the fresh air intake to the stainless steel wall mount. The side flanges were attached using stainless steel screws that come with the setup. Then it was time to locate the location for drilling a hole so that the stovepipe could exit the trailer. I had to make sure the trailer was completely level, and then I did a pilot hole through the roof. Went up onto the roof, cleaned the rubber roof membrane, and drew a 7-inch diameter circle that I would cut out using a jigsaw, and that is where the 5-inch insulated stovepipe would exit the roof of the trailer. Gave it a quick cleaning with my shop vac before putting the stovepipe on. Put the bottom flange over it, and that would slide up to the eventual 5-inch insulated stovepipe. The insulated stovepipe will slide over the 3-inch double-walled stovepipe. Because the ceiling in my trailer was not completed, I needed to install a temporary ceiling, so I used a scrap piece of 3/4 inch plywood and used it for the small area that I would need, and cut a 7-inch diameter hole into that piece of plywood. With the 3-inch double-walled stovepipe installed, I slid over the 5-inch insulated stovepipe over top of that. You can see how there is 1-inch diameter spacing between the stovepipe and the roof. The kit comes with 2 brackets to secure the stovepipe in place. The brackets get screwed to the stovepipe and then onto the roof itself. I had to make sure the stovepipe was high enough that it would stick out past the rubber boot that would eventually cover it. So you can see the space between the insulated stovepipe and the walls and the roof. And once the insulated stovepipe was in place, there's a metal flange that gets installed as well. The coupler then attaches the 3-inch stovepipe to the 5-inch stovepipe. So there's a black rubber flange that comes with the kit that is adjustable, so you just simply cut it to the width of the stovepipe that you have in your particular build. In this case, I had 5-inch stovepipe that I need to get around. So that is the complete installation. When it's time to hit the highway, the top of the stovepipe, the insulated, as well as the 3-inch pipe, that simply comes off. I have to undo the screws that hold it in there, and there's a rubber boot gasket that I haven't gotten in the mail yet that covers the opening. So really the only, you just see the dome, black rubber dome, and this little boot that goes over top of it, so it keeps a very low profile from the highway, and nothing is kind of wobbling as you're heading down the highway. So it works out perfect that way. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I really appreciate if you gave a thumbs up. If you've liked this, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, because I have a lot of work to do in this trailer, and once I do complete it, I am going to take this thing everywhere, and hopefully you share the adventures with me. So thanks for watching. Cheers. We'll see you in the next one.